Hi everyone, welcome to LBS.
Love and
Bullshit. TheloveandBS.
love and bullshit. Love and bullshit.
Love and bullshit.
Sizzle on the beat, money on the beat.
Today we are shooting outside of the studio. We needed a fresh start. It's spring. We just needed some fresh air and to connect with ourselves. It's the last quarter of the year, so there's a lot of introspection. We just needed something that is gonna tone it down a little. And today we are joined by,
Me?
and you are,
Oh, Thabang Mabogoane, you know.
and I am Lerato Aliu. In case this is your first time, welcome to our show. Don't forget to click on your subscription button as well as hit us with a like,
Comment.
and comment if you feel that, you want to express yourself. We do appreciate all your comments, so please do. And turn on your notifications so that next time when we have an episode, you'll be the first to know.
Yeah.
Today, we are gonna have a yoga session.
Because yoga is not an exercise form, it has other dimensions to it.
Because it's important to just align ourselves, And we have an awesome guest. She's a model, she is a TV presenter, she is a news anchor.
She is tall.
She's tall and beautiful. And to add to her many skills, she is now a yoga instructor. We have Melanie Bala on the show! I like the tall, but thanks. Yes, so before we get to the interview, she's going to give us a yoga session, right?
Mm-hmm. Just a short one, a young one, just to kind of introduce you to it.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah.
We're feeling a little hungover today, so we might not show our facial expressions whilst we're doing the moves.
We're gonna take it easy.
Pardon our backs, basically.
Okay, cool. Let's get to it.
If you want to really challenge yourself, close your eyes. Okay, to the front, so you're bringing it down and facing dog. Remember, feel that heaviness move across your shoulders.
Yeah, I'm at a loss for words because that was a really great session.
Thank you.
And how okay, let me tell you how I processed it. What I first thought yoga was we're gonna, breathe through things. I mean, we've done a few online sessions.
Camera recording.
I was just joking.
Okay.
And this was far greater than what we've ever experienced online. And I now see why people actually go to classes, because that one-on-one is intense. It's truthful. It's it puts you in the moment.
Yes.
Right? It
Very
makes you
much so.
focus on what is happening now, which for me, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I'm always thinking ahead.
Yeah.
It really just, like I said, I'm at a loss for words.
I think that is the thing, when you practice with a class online, right? So it's made for mass appeal, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There really is. I think it's a great way to introduce a lot of people to yoga, to have an online YouTube channel or whatever. But because it's mass appeal, you literally are going in and saying, here's a great quick 20-minute session or 30-minute session, and the focus tends to be on the physical practice, right? So the physical postures, which are called asanas, which is, like I say, which is fine. But I think an in-person experience that's tailored to you or a group or whatever, you're able to, as a teacher, you're able to hold space for others, and you allow people the space to kind of process and go through a practice, finding what they need to find from the practice. And I think online you don't really get that.
And what kind of yoga are you planning on teaching? Yeah,
So
and
I
what
did
are you
my
doing?
I did my teacher training in Vinyasa,
Okay.
which is a style of yoga, which is very, I suppose the word would be kind of flowy, right? So it's a very flowy kind of yoga.
So like, Bikram yoga?
Bikram, yeah,
Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
still like an official?
type
Yeah.
of yoga.
Yeah.
Yes, it very much is.
I'm taken aback. I didn't even know he
Knew
knew.
this.
I had to do my research. Mel was coming.
Ah, look at you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
No research. No research.
You don't want to
That
look
was
like a
just
dum-dum.
that was
The trick is to find what works for you. You know,
Yeah.
not everything's going to work for everyone. So you might try vinyasa and be like, I don't like that. And especially I think guys in particular, because they tend to be more physically focused, right? So maybe a power yoga class is something that you would really enjoy.
What
you know?
does that
So
entail?
power yoga is very similar to what we did, but a lot more intense. So the moves are more intense. There's a lot more strength needed. It just is more physical. It really is a lot more physical. And it almost in a way harkens back to the way yoga began, the way it was practiced right in the beginning. Because yoga right at the beginning was a practice predominant only for men. Only men practiced yoga at the beginning, right?
Why?
Because it's a spiritual practice, right? Yoga is a spiritual practice, and it's a long story, but in a nutshell, it was a patriarchal society, so men were allowed to practice because they believed it would bring you closer to your deity or whatever your deity is. And so really, that's why even, some of the postures have been modified to really adapt to having
female
women
body.
to the female body.
That's my girl. You coming to the beach with me?
Now, you have been a model.
For like 2 seconds, but okay.
Girl, don't tell me 2 seconds because you're on covers of magazines as we speak.
Nice.
Yay!
Yes.
You've been a model. You've been a TV presenter. You've been a fantastic news anchor on radio. And you've been a TV presenter as well.
Yeah.
And now you're a yogi. So what are the things that led up to this? And which part of your previous life, can you say, has led you up to this point? Which was more impactful to this point?
It's hard to separate them. I think because you have to look at the totality of who you are, right?
Yeah.
So everything I've been through in my entire life has made me who I am. Everything has been impactful. And at the time, it might not have felt like it, but in hindsight, it was. So my journey from television to radio to being a mom to, finding myself on the mat, it all works together. I literally cannot pinpoint one thing and say, oh, that was the thing that changed. I think what did bring me to the mat initially was I was going through a really tough time personally, and I needed to find a way to process what was going on in my life. And I briefly practiced yoga when I was pregnant with my daughter, so that was 11 odd years ago, while I was pregnant. And I'd enjoyed it, but I literally only kept it up while I was pregnant. I gave birth, I think I went for 2 classes, then I was exhausted, mom life. I was like, oh, I'm exhausted, I can't do this. And then I let it go.
I'm still there.
So yeah, it was a tough time in my personal life that brought me back to the mat, because I was like, where can I go where I can process what's happening in private? And I started to practice at home.
Sure. And are you enjoying it as, in terms of wanting to see it be something that you can turn into a business later on, or even now?
Yeah.
Like, are you at the space where you would want to just drop everything and say, that's where I want to go?
Listen, I sell everything. I'm going to move to like Ghana and live on the beach and teach yoga for a living. Like, that's my vibe, babe. Like, that's the plan. My kids are like, what? But I think it is for me. So I qualified at the end of June.
Okay.
And this period has really been about figuring out how to integrate it into my life, how to teach how to set up a schedule that works, in alignment with everything else that I'm doing, because I still enjoy what I do. I still enjoy radio tremendously. I still, all these other things. So it's about finding a way to make it all work together. But I think that's part of why I did my training, was like, I don't know where this is going to take me, but my heart tells me it's the right direction. A lot of the great things that have happened in my life have come about because I've been open to the idea.
Okay.
Television, radio, all those things came about because I was like, let's see where this goes. And I've been fortunate to have like a 30-year career in broadcasting because of it. So,
Maybe
like I say, we'll see where yoga takes me.
I don't know.
But I mean, you being an instructor, that's like, how much of that is like where you're like, I'm giving back because this is literally what has given me strength.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know how in your life you have to sort of have things that you do of service and just to give you like wholesomeness and fulfillment and stuff like that. So is this
you a balanced human being?
Is this what it is for you?
Well, it's really interesting that you say acts of service, because yoga, there are the 8 limbs of yoga, right? And acts of service is one of those things. So the physical practice we did, the asanas, was one. Then there's pranayama, which is your breath work. So there's all these other things. Ahimsa, which is the practice of non-violence towards others on every level. And acts of service is one of the 8 limbs of yoga. So it very much is a central tenet of yoga that you have to give back, right? And that is in whether you're teaching, because as a teacher you're holding space for your students, right? And allowing them to go through what they need to go through, but also literal acts of service where maybe you will have a free class once a week to be able to provide those who cannot afford it the opportunity to experience yoga, because yoga is a spiritual practice. I think a lot of it has been whitewashed over the years. It's kind of been separated and it's become just practice yoga 30 minutes online, great.
I mean, we've done a few online sessions.
Yoga is a spiritual practice, and they're deeply connected and aligned that you have to give back. So,
The world is going through so much tension at the moment, between the pandemic and political unrest, all kinds of movements, from the Black Lives Matter movements to the Me Too's, to there's just so much going on, right? Do you think that yoga could be the kind of practice that if the whole world just took a breath,
it would make a difference?
It would make a difference.
I do believe that. Because, and I mean, it sounds simplistic, but it's the same reason that meditation, they say that like if everyone could meditate, it would really just bring about a change in consciousness. Because I think a lot that happens in the world comes from not thinking about things and not thinking things through and acting blindly and with violence towards others, and not necessarily physical violence, but institutional, systemic, racial, like all that stuff. And so it would be great if everyone could do yoga, but in the sense of, okay, not everyone might do yoga, but then self-awareness. I think if you're self-aware, that goes a long way in how you move through the world.
So our intention with our show is to make people be better individuals, but for the embedment of relationships, whether the relationships are personal or in workspaces. And after the session we just had, I honestly think it should be mandatory for people to do yoga at work.
At work?
At work, because people are constantly thinking of how to backstab each other, pull each other down. It's never as... It's supposed to look and feel like teamwork, right? But there are small little nitty things that people do because they come with their own energy. They come with their own, I guess...
Stuff.
Stuff.
People have stuff.
Stuff that they carry with them. And I think if people just had... if they could just practice some yoga in work experiences as well as in personal relationships, you know what I mean, would be better partners.
Well, on that, okay, cool. So Mal, I don't know if you're single. I don't know if you're, doing your thing. But listen. So, like, in a relationship, would you say this, like, your partner would have to join you?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Really?
No, not at all. I think self-awareness, like I was just saying, self-awareness is everything. However you find that, and not everyone's going to do yoga and enjoy it, right? But if you're self-aware, and whether you've come to that through therapy, whether you've come to that through introspection, whether you've come to that through, sometimes trauma helps us to introspect. There's all these different avenues that can bring you to a point where you are able to look at yourself honestly, right? Because I think a lot of us, we lie to ourselves about what we want, what we don't want, where we are in our lives, all sorts of things. And it's those layers of being dishonest that then cause you to go out and bleed on people who didn't cut you, right? Your girlfriend says, I want to get married one day, and you go, yeah, but you don't want to get married. But you're perpetuating a lie.
Sure.
Because society's told you, or your mother's told. Have I hit a nerve? I'm just like, wow. Or your mother's expecting it, or whatever it is, right? So you need to be self-aware, I think, and if you're able to do that, every interaction you have, whether at the workplace, whether in a relationship, with your children, with whoever, your family, whoever else, if you're able to be honest with yourself and self-aware, where you can actually say, to not react, but to respond. When something happens, to not be like, but to actually say, and I do that very much. Like, someone will maybe say something or do something, and I'll be like, I'm going to need a second to process that. Because I want to figure out, if I wanted to react this way, why am I wanting to react that way? Where's that reaction coming from? Is it from a place of hurt? Is it coming from a place of love? And then actually taking the time to respond and being aware of my response and how that's going to land with someone. And keeping that honesty all the time. Because there's a way to be honest without being hurtful. People don't like it because it's difficult, right? But there's a way to do it. So I think someone who's self-aware is far more important than whether someone practices yoga or not, for me.
It's not just strength, it's not just the bulge of your muscle. The flexibility of your body is as important for proper functioning of the system.
Does yoga do anything for one's sex life?
Yeah. Like, you're like, what?
No. Because, not that that's an obvious question.
But...
no, that crossed my mind.
Oh, okay.
But I was just like, after stretching and all of that,
I get that.
you're hella limber.
Yeah,
it's sensual, all of that and everything like. But I mean, what are the direct benefits in
the boudoir?
In the boudoir.
Are there any? Or is it just like a feeling? Like, okay, cool. I feel good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do good.
I think it's about so yoga is really about being present, being in the moment, right? And so by focusing on your breath, you're here right now, you're here. You're not thinking ahead to what could happen, you're not thinking about what has happened, you're here, right? And so in a way I would say that is the experience or the feeling that you then want to have carry over into when you have sex. It's about being present in the moment, right? I mean, there's a branch of yoga, tantric sex, which fundamentally is kind of what that is about, where you're taking away the focus on orgasm or ejaculation or whatever, and you're just focusing on this, here, now, this. So that's how it would, in a sense, I guess.
And what's that? That's like touching,
Well,
or like breathing. Would it be like a session of we're gonna breathe together, so that we almost synchronize?
It could be, but you also it's about it's about being present in the moment of being intimate, right?
I love how my brother would rather.
It's like, so back to the sex thing, yo. I was just like wondering, like, yo, so what do you mean exactly? Like, spell it out.
So are we doing breathing
Like,
sessions?
Are
we doing touching sessions? When are we getting to the sex?
That's so funny.
Because when I'm over 30, so at the end of the day, it's not even like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's chill right now. I'm asking for our viewers, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm being of service as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Give it back.
It's everything. It's. You could synchronize your breath, but it is like it's about the intimacy and being a more mindful lover, right?
Yeah. And I think one of the things that men sometimes don't understand is that in order for us to orgasm, it's not just about, thrusting as much as you.
Really? You guys need another episode because he just said really. Wow, okay. A whole nother episode's coming tomorrow.
And I was just about to say, you know how sometimes when you have sex with a girl and she ends up crying and you have no idea why she was crying?
No, never happened to you.
No.
He's like,
No. It's
I know.
there's like Me Too movements happening out here. Don't do that.
no one anyone's saying.
We're moving on.
No,
We're
not
moving
in
on.
a-
What you
not-
doing
not-
now?
No,
Yeah?
not in a violent way.
Oh,
when you're
okay. Like,
making
when
love
you-
to somebody and you're
when you-
connecting, and the session is so intense that it brings you to this, like, when you find your orgasm, that you just you break out in tears,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Again.
Yeah. No, I can't relate. I'm the quiet type, anyways. I'm quiet. So.
So
Yeah, that was more information than I needed. So you were asking me about
I don't even know what I asked
no,
you
I
anymore.
could understand how this would benefit.
The thing.
Both partners to even reach that point.
Yes.
Because you're both present.
Yeah.
You're in that moment, you are you're not in a rush.
Yeah.
Where are we running to?
or distracted.
No, we're not
Oh,
distracted.
Yeah.
Unless you're a parent out there, I know it's hard.
That's me.
No. Ezekiel. So you were no, I remember now. You were asking me what generally were the benefits.
Yeah, for a relationship in general.
Right. And again, and I know it might sound kind of like, but you said this, is the only person you are responsible for is yourself
True.
in this world. Like, you'd love to be able to take responsibility for others and be like, no, but do this, do that. It's out of our control, right?
Yeah.
So if you are actively working towards being a better, more well-rounded, whole, healed, healthy individual, how can that not impact every relationship you have?
Yeah.
Right? And particularly a romantic relationship, I think, because if you're able to look at your trauma, your wounds, and not respond out of that place, and speak from a place of honesty with your partner and say, this is triggering me, I'm trying to figure out why. It's not you, but whatever the situation or whatever you said has just, it's done something to me, right? So there's that honesty that's required so that you're able to then sit and talk about what's going on. And it's that sense of wanting to be better, right? And to bring your best self to any situation. Again, in a romantic relationship, you want to show up as your best possible version of yourself,
You will not need any equipment.
so that you are able to love from a place that is open, right? So a lot of the stuff we do in yoga, you heard me, often I'll say to you, bring your hands down to your heart center, right? So your heart chakra is here. And a lot of what we do is about opening your heart chakra, because if your heart is open, you're able to give and receive love with no
No
strings
holds
attached, no holds barred, no conditions, no whatever. It's about saying, I'm here and I'm open to this experience and I'm willing to give it my best shot, and have that not be clouded or layered by history, experience, trauma, whatever else, because you've actively worked to say, I've fixed what was wrong, and now I'm able to say, cool, I'm here. So like those are kinds of the ways that I find yoga is beneficial in a relationship, where you're able to heal yourself from trauma, and that's everything from divorce to breakups to, you know, blah 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 blah.
Well, on the show, I don't know if you've seen our show before, but on our show, we've tried to find my brother Love. He is a farmer. He is a butcher. He
Come on, ladies.
is single. He's 34. We've tried to find my brother Love.
Okay.
And he's still working on himself, right?
Right.
However, you've made leaps and bounds.
Have I had helped progress?
Should we, you know, assist in helping you
To what?
to find the next partner in your life?
No, I'm good, thanks. Y'all be safe though. Y'all be safe.
He's like, peace.
Yeah, y'all be safe though. I'm no stress.
Hey,
No thanks, I'm good.
You have
I've-
to open up your heart chakra.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Teacher,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, no,
No,
but
but-
you must find in your age group, my friend.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm actually not interested in my age group.
Well,
Like, and I realize this is the first time I actually openly say this. You know, I don't know. Maybe because you know we did the yoga thing. I got my t-shirt off because I wanted to be honest as well. Like I've been sweating. I've been sweating, and not only because it's hot, but also because I want to show my honesty. You know what I mean? If this is the situation that I'm faced with, then you know. By the way, like. I literally thought I was going to be nervous throughout this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was initially, but you're such a beautiful person that, like, you take the, what do you call it? Like the I don't know, maybe the nervousness, or maybe like the, it's English.
Yay.
Oh, hey.
Yay.
No, maybe it's that vibe. Maybe it's that yogi vibe, you know?
But that's it. You bring, it's what is the energy that you're bringing into a space,
Yeah.
right?
So,
Is that energy open? Is it friendly? Is it chatty? Is it good? Is it warm? Is it, and that's every interaction I have, I'm conscious of that, right?
I mean, being
You want people to walk
also
away
helps.
feeling better having met you or having had an experience with you, right? It's not that you're trying to prove anything.
Yeah.
It's not like, no, I'm coming with my happy energy now. So, you know, and I get back in the car and I'm like, no. Like,
no, I genuinely, I
Like,
felt
it's
it.
just-
We did share something, and I felt it. So that helped me calm down.
I'm glad.
She's
Lerato's
like-
not buying it, but I'm glad. I'm glad.
No, in his mind.
Hey, I'm sorry.
So what I'm saying-
Like, oh,
what I'm
okay.
saying is, you find older, more mature women. Like for me, I feel like a younger woman hasn't given herself the opportunity to engage with herself and actually look within themselves and not be so, you know, so Kardashians about, you know, how they approach certain situations. It's like, and that's why I couldn't even date girls younger than me, you know, like in the past. But like now that I'm openly putting it out there that, you know, I think I'm scheduled for Escoptito. You know, I'm scheduled for that.
Okay.
You know, if you know any.
But he says
any
it's like he's 20.
I mean,
And it's like, buddy, you're 34.
No, but
Okay?
I
You're well into your
You're there.
30s.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much,
you're
Oma.
welcome.
Yeah, we
You're
are
welcome.
very,
I'm
very
really glad you guys enjoyed it. You know, and I think that is why I agreed to come today. Is really just to say, you know, the more people experience it for themselves, and you know, find your journey with it. You know, whether it is that 30 minutes online for a couple of days, a week, or whatever, or if you want to go deeper, at least you've experienced it for yourself.
Okay, so I've known you for many years.
You have.
However, I think this period, right, that you are in is the first time I'm getting to see without being offensive, the real you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've always been very honest about who you were.
Yeah.
Right?
You know.
I know.
Yeah.
But I guess this is the first time in our exchanges of each other in this relationship where I am seeing the star version of you coming out. Do you get what I'm saying? Without you trying.
Yeah.
Because I think before, yes, you know how in South Africa people get given the celebrity thing. You know, you're on radio, you're on TV, you're a celebrity. But there's very few stars. Do you get what I'm saying? And in this period, I think that your light is coming out so bright, right? And I know you're not
like the
you're
sun.
Not yeah, and I know that you're not the type of person to actually like hoo-ha about that type of stuff, you know. However, I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you, baby.
No, I really am.
I think there's a freedom that comes, you know, at my age, where I literally.
What's that?
My what? My age.
No, sorry, continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, there's a freedom that has come with aging, right? That I didn't have in my 20s and my 30s.
Yeah.
Where I still very much was about, not like what are people going to say, but like a little bit like, you know, and kind of being defined and living within the definitions of what I thought I should be, right? So self-imposed, because no one ever said, no, you must do this. I just thought, oh, well, I should. And so the freedom I found in my 40s has really been about saying, I'm coming back to who I am and the things I love and the things I enjoy doing and the things that bring me joy. And really not caring. Honestly, I really don't care what other people think, you know. And so I choose to live my life every single day with like an attitude of like, cool, let's do this. Like, what are we doing? You know, and bringing that energy that you spoke about into every experience, and just appreciating life. Just like I say, especially post-pandemic. Not that we're out of it, but you know, just appreciating life.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you see, is that I've said to myself, what is the best possible version of myself?
No, it's coming out.
I'm going to show up as her every single day.
It's definitely coming out, and I'm here for it.
Thank you, baby.
Honey, it's a vibe.
It's a vibe, babe.
It's a vibe, babe.
No.
I actually feel like a Scorchino when I say that.
So you guys.
I'm like, I'm too old to be going, it's a vibe.
It's a mood.
But anywho, so what else? What else are you going to be doing? And what else can we look out for?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, it's kind of developing the yoga thing in the sense of trying to make it work within my life. So there's a couple of things I'm working on, and I will obviously post about it or whatever when I'm ready to share. But like I was saying, a lot of things in my life have come about by being open to experiencing new things. And so when you say, where will I be in 5 years? I don't know. I have no idea.
It could be on the beaches of Ghana.
That's right. That's right.
Funny, I also just got like some realization that Ghana is where we are all headed. Let's sort that out.
You and all the Scorchinos in the world.
Oh, man.
Doing yoga on the beach.
No, but I think we're good. Right?
I think we're
Thank
good.
you.
Anywho, thank you so much, Mel, for coming through.
Oh yeah,
we
what do we do? How do we close? We hug our guests.
Yeah, I haven't seen that on a previous episode though.
Yeah.
Is that a new thing?
Namaste.
I think that's the same thing.
Namaste. Thank you.
So tune in at our next episode. God only knows who we're gonna have there. But we'll definitely make sure that it makes you a better person. You know, and we hope you gain something from this, and we can really encourage you to sign up for a yoga class, actually attend, and give us some feedback. Let us know what your experience was,
And I don't know if Mel is taking any private lessons at the moment.
Sort of, kind of.
But if she is, hit up on her DM.
Yeah, follow.
Email, don't
Follow.
Email. Thanks.
Follow
Link
now.
in bio.
Link will be in her bio. All right, but thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Sizzle on the beat, money on the beat.